Hi, good evening. This is Dr. Rajesh. Today we are going to read on sutures of the skulls. What is a suture? It is a joining of two bones. You can see here the two parietal bones are being joined together, and that suture is called as the sagittal suture. At that point, we can see two openings, that is called parietal foramen, and here you can see the another suture which is here, which is joining the frontal bone with that of the two parietal bone, that is called coronal sutures. And the point in joining of all these three bones is called brecma. And here you can see the joining of two parietal with that of the occipital, that is called as the lambdoid suture. In that one suture you can see a bone called sutural bone. So today we are going to study about sutural bones. You can see wherever there are sutures. So sutures are, what are sutures? Sutures are the point or the place or the junction where the two or more bones join together. So wherever they are joining, basing on the joining with the respective bones, we will name them. Like we can see some of the bones which are been joining with the frontal without the two parietal, that is what we called cranial, means the head part or the front part. So we call that one as the coronal suture. And behind, in between, we are going to see the two parietal bones are been joining, that is going medianly, that is called sagittal plane or sagittal suture. Here what we are going to see is the sutural bones are formed. How these sutural bones are formed and what are the functions of sutural bones. Sutural bones are formed due to the additional ossification centers in or near sutures of the flat bones of a human cranium. So during the ossification, we are going to see what is an example of sutural bone. Example, in between the frontal and sphenoidal bone, there are certain sutures being formed. There we are going to see the formation of some bones, that is the spinofrontal suture and the bone. You can see here suturo frontalis, suturo coronalis, suturo frontomaxillaris, sutura spinofrontalis, zygomatica, suturo squamous, suturo frontolacrimalis, spinosquamous, lambdoidis. So there are so many. So the sutural bones are also called as Ormian bones. Actually, Ormian is a person. His name is called Olius Ormius. So according to the Dutch anatomist, this name was been given, means extra bone. The meaning of that one is extra bone. Sutural bone growth will limit the movement. Actually, it permits the skull to grow, and particularly present at the skull and the face, accommodates all the organs, and it will also be permeating the growth of the organs, right? So it is going to restrict. What are the sutural bones called as? So already we have studied. These are intrasutural bones or extra bones, extra bone pieces. These are irregular in shape, and these all are present wherever. For example, we are seeing some other bones which are been present, like tendinous ossification happens, and those forms a sesamoid bones. We are going to see those bones. Here it's a different story. Wherever there are sutures, near the sutures we are going to see here, and totally we are having 17 sutural bones. You can see from fronto nasalis and until that one. So sutural bones are also supernumerary. These are supernumerary small bones. uh, so here you can see in the suture where we can see that is the lambdoid, right? In that one you can see that lambdoid suture which is joining the two parietal bone and occipital bone. There we can see 1, 2, 3, 4. There we have numbered, right? All are nothing but the sutural bones. You can see that is in the parietal bone and the lambdoid. There is one more suture that is called Wolberian suture. We can see Wolberian suture too. So you can see here you can see that suture which is there. It is called as the Oremian suture, that is between the sagittal suture and the lambdoid suture, and the point is actually called as lambda, but at the lambda you are going to see that extra bone. Here also you can see at the lambda, and we call an extra bone as the Inca bone or Inca bone Aka. So this is in the fetus. You can see beautifully they have given that Inca bone. See that central part where the lambda is present, there you can see the Inca bone, right? And in frontal also you can see that Inca bone, extra bone presence. You can see beautifully, you can appreciate this skull. in this fetal skull, you can see number of so many supernumerary sutural bones are being observed. Here also in this X-ray, you can see X-ray of the skull that supernumerary sutural bones will be observed. We can see the next bone, next slide also. Here you see in the sagittal suture you can see lambda place. You can see, we can also see on the other respect wherever these sutures are. You can see in the coronal suture you can see brachma. You can see first one is the brachma. At second point you can see exactly in the parietal suture. Another one is the lambdoid suture. Here you can see sagittal suture. You can see third place, that is called lambda suture. You can see lambda, and also in fifth place we can see in the lambdoid suture also. Here also you can see SGS is the sagittal suture. In the sagittal suture and means maximum you can see in lambdoid suture, right? Lambda suture you can see number of what you call as the sutural bones being observed. So you can see here, you can appreciate this one. Here you can see this one, and also we can see the next diagram. In this next diagram also you can see how they are been present, the extra grown part. So on the left side and the right side of the parietal bone we can see LPB is left parietal, right parietal, and also you can see here how many supernumerary these bones are there. So these all will help. What are the functions of sutural bones? So we can say what are the uses of the super, or what are the functions. What is sutural bones? They are the supernumerary bones which are small in size. So small bones sporadically found in the course of the cranial sutures wherever there are, particularly in the frontalis as well as in the lambda part, right? So these all are going to make a complex structure for the humans. Next, what they are going to do, what are the functions? Their main function is actually more than a function. We can say that they will the sutures allow only limited movement, right? In that limited movement of the sutures we are going to see the presence of, so wherever there is a suture, what is a suture? It is nothing but a fibrous joint between the bones, right? So the sutures will only allow limited movement of the bones, right? Particularly in the skull and the face. So in that place what we are going to see the presence of these bones. So these bones will accommodate the growing